So I think that we can start. Hi again, Shak. Thank you very much for having this conversation with us today. I will just turn off my microphone. You can start the presentation, and for the next 30 minutes, we will listen to you.
Super.
You are muted. Oh, no, you're.
Yeah, no, I was trying to unmute. Thank you for having me here. Hopefully you can you see my presentation?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you.
All right. So good morning, everybody. I'm Shaquille or Shaq, and I'm a business sourcing partner at Allegro. So overall, what we want to discuss today is talk to you about Allegro, what it is. Obviously, many of you may already know what Allegro is, but you might not know certain, let's say, facts and figures about the platform and about Poland overall. So without further ado, let's get into this. So e-commerce in Poland as a whole is huge. The value of the market is based at about 20 billion euro. This is for e-commerce only. And what's interesting is 75% of Polish online buyers actually shop on Polish websites. So they prefer to use Polish websites. 79% of users actually shop online. So in correlation, there's a very small percentage of those who actually buy online that are buying from foreign web shops compared to Polish web shops. Or let me rephrase. Although majority will buy online from any store, 75% of them prefer to buy on Polish sites. Now, a little bit of the history of Allegro. So Allegro started off in 1999. We started off as a C2C platform, and since then have been growing and expanding. Now, the most important parts for you as a seller are what happened in April 2022. So the merger with the Mall Group. So this brought in Mall, CZC, and Mimovrist into the Allegro, let's say, family. Now, in July 2023, we launched our first international platform outside of Poland. So Allegro.cz was launched. And since then, we are going to be continuing our international expansion. So, for example, it's going to be Czechia, which is already done, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, and Slovenia eventually, right? So these are things to look out for in the future. Now, if you remember in the previous slide, I was talking about 20 billion euros, the value of the e-commerce market in Poland. Now, in the first 3 quarters of 2023, we did about 8 billion, so almost half of the total value of e-commerce in Poland. And what we've also seen overall year on year is consistent growth. So even in 2022, overall growth was almost 16%. And last year in the first 3 quarters, we did almost, 13%, just over 13% growth in the first 3 quarters. Now, within this, the most important things to look at over here is across the region, we have 18.9 million active buyers. So, but these are the buyers who are actually buying more than once a year on the platform. So they're actively using the platform to do their purchases. The other key figure here is this 87% spontaneous brand recognition. Now, you might be wondering what this means, and when we move on to the next slide, it'll give you a better idea. So in terms of Poland, and this is based off of a report that Gemius published in 2023, September 2023. So brand recognition in Poland for Allegro is at 87%. What you see overall is that other marketplaces and players actually are at 20% or less. The only other player here that's doing higher than 20% is OLX, but OLX also specializes more in C2C as opposed to B2C. Now, I've already touched on our international expansion plans, but what's also important to note is that in addition to being in Central Eastern Europe, consumers within the EU, so in France, Germany, Spain, can go onto the Allegro platform and purchase products and have them delivered to them in their country of residence as well. A little bit about the Czech market. So it's one of the fastest growing e-commerce markets within Central Eastern Europe. And since our launch in Czechia of Allegro CZ, our brand recognition is already reaching about 90%. So that's huge when you consider how short the Allegro brand as Allegro.cz has been around in Czechia. Now, in addition to that, what speaks out is the number of active buyers. So 500,000 active buyers since we launched in Czechia. And the other one is that we have 7,000 to 8,000 Czech users visiting the Allegro platform every single day in Czechia. So this is something that shows constant continued growth. Now, when we talk about what are the key drivers, so in terms of the GMV on the platform, for what we call international sellers, so these are sellers who are not domestic in terms of, are not Polish sellers. They are sellers from the rest of Europe, Asia, or the rest of the world. And within that, these are our categories that generate the highest GMV. So consumer electronics, unsurprisingly, home and garden, sports and leisure, and automotive and fashion. So those are the top 5 categories. And similarly, in terms of the items sold, there are slight changes in the orders, but overall, the top 5 categories are more or less the same, with the exception of automotive versus kids here in that section there. Now, how to succeed on Allegro as a platform. This is going to be one of the things that drives how you perform overall on Allegro. So first things to know, Allegro is an open marketplace, so you can register with your tax ID from Romania, Poland, Germany, France, anywhere you want in the world, and that's not a problem for us. There are no mandatory registration fees or to join the marketplace, so joining it is completely free of charge. In addition, most of the categories that we have on our platform are free of listing fees. There are certain categories where there would be listing fees. So for example, if we're talking about antiquities, that's an example of a category that there are listing fees. And overall, we generally only charge commission or a success fee on sales. So you only pay us when you sell your product. Of course, that can also change if you want to use the various marketing and advertising opportunities. Those are additional chargeable aspects, but within the general scheme of things, you only pay commission fees as long as you're not doing anything else on the platform. Within that, we also have a welcome program that we have prepared for new sellers. So within that welcome program, what's important to note is that the benefits pack is worth up to about 5,000 euros. Within this, what is included is that there is up to 100% sales commission refund for the first 90 days. There's also a package of 100 feature options. So featuring is one of our options to promote your products on the platform. You also have access to our professional subscription of Allegro Analytics, which normally would come at a subscription fee as well per month. So these are things that we've built into a welcome program just for you, so that you can navigate the Allegro landscape, learn what the different tools are, and see what works for you overall as a new seller to the platform. Other than that, when we talk about Allegro, so Allegro Analytics, what we have here, similar to other marketplaces, you can adjust your assortment, you can set your prices, you can monitor your sales. But one of the things which is different from other marketplaces is that you can also keep track of what other sellers are up to on the platform and react in real time. So you can see what the competition is doing. Now, when it comes to the listing and offers part, which I know we're going to be discussing in terms of the technical aspects in a bit, but in terms of what consumers want and see, well-formatted content in Polish will be great. Of course, you could list in English and use the API to translate it automatically, or if you use the EN codes or SKUs, you could pull up pre-existing descriptions from our product database. High-value customer service. So we recommend that you respond to your customers or any queries within 24 hours. And as I mentioned multiple times already, promotion, advertising, and taking part in sales campaigns. These are great ways to create visibility for your products. They're also great ways for you to increase the sales and take advantage of different campaigns throughout the year. So some of our biggest campaigns in 2023 were Smart Week and also Black Weeks. The other thing that will be important is fast, convenient, and low-cost delivery. So this goes without saying. Polish consumers are spoiled for choice. They get pretty quick delivery. It's usually next day. And with Allegro, we also have fulfillment. So in that case, some consumers also get same day delivery as well. Now, this is an idea of what happens when delivery times are extended. So you can see the conversion to basket over here. If it's over 48 hours, the basket conversion starts to drop. So in terms of electronics, it goes from 50 to 48 to 38 to 21% conversion based on the time it's delivering. Now, I mentioned Smart earlier, or Smart Week. So Smart is our loyalty program that we have for consumers as well as sellers. So what this means is that consumers get free delivery, free returns. What you as a seller are offering is the fact that your products or offers will have the Smart badge. Smart at present is only available for sellers who are shipping from Netherlands, France, Germany, Czechia, Poland, and using certain delivery methods. So outside of Poland, you need to use DPD, DHL, and UPS. If you are shipping from Poland, you need to make sure that you also have the ship with Allegro options available within your delivery options. Okay. So I discussed the Smart aspect, and we've also touched on One Fulfillment. So One Fulfillment, as well as our fulfillment solution, we have a warehouse just outside of Warsaw. We handle your goods, we store them, we insure them, and we deal with the pick, pack, ship, as well as returns processing. One of the things which is great to know is that on the platform overall, only about 0.4% of offers are actually with same day delivery. So this is where one area where using One Fulfillment will help you stand out from others, as well as the fact that about 12.9%, so almost 13% of offers are actually with next day delivery. So again, you're within this very small group of sellers that have offers that would have same day or next day delivery. So as I said, we take care of the shipping. Our prices are quite competitive, and I can tell you more about this later on when it comes to fulfillment. In terms of Smart, the other thing that's important to note is that your offers are 2.5 times more popular on the platform because of the fact that they are listed higher because they have the Smart badge on them. So I mentioned a bit about the fulfillment. So this is an idea of how it looks when it comes to same day delivery, what the cutoff times are for the rest of Poland and for Warsaw, and also the cutoff times for next day delivery and how it works from there. I'm going to stop the presentation here when we talk about the fulfillment aspects and pass the mic back over, and we can get into questions later on if anyone has anything.
Sure. Thank you very much, Shak. It was a very interesting presentation, to be honest. And it's the first time when I hear that Allegro has so many years of experience behind, 24 years. So that's a lot, to be honest. It has almost my age. That's very interesting.
I'll be 25 this year. So
25. Oh, yeah.
This year will be 25.
Great. Amazing. Thank you very much again for the presentation. I hope that our participants were able to catch some insights. Again, if you have any kind of questions, I repeat this because some other people joined us later. If you have any kind of questions, please insert them in the chat section. All the microphones and the cameras are turned off, are disabled right now, just for the sake of having a smooth webinar. And in almost 10 minutes, we will switch to the Q&A session, where, again, you can let us know what kind of questions you have. And if you want to have the microphones turned on, in 10 minutes, you can tell me if you want to put some questions maybe to Shak, or if you want to ask me some questions. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to easySales platform just to offer you a brief presentation about how you can connect Allegro and easySales and how you can list some offers on Allegro. Of course, that the presentation will be very basic. I will not be able to show you in real time how you can list some offers on a marketplace, but the steps are the same ones if you will apply them in your easySales account. Okay, so first of all, what's important in easySales is to have an Allegro account enabled. So if you're interested in listing on Allegro, please contact an Allegro representative, make the account on the marketplace, ask them all the questions that you have about their fees, about how you can have the proper, let's say, listing on Allegro, as Shaq offered us some insights in the presentation. And after you have the Allegro account enabled, you can connect it in easySales in the integrations marketplaces area. Here you can see all the other marketplaces that we have connected. Allegro is here. We can find it easier by just search it based on the name. You have the connect button, and on the left side, we have some basic information about how you can connect Allegro in easySales. I advise you to pay attention to these steps because here you have written what you should set up in Allegro first of all, and these two points are very important. Otherwise, then you will have a problem in connecting Allegro in easySales. So the default return policy and the default complaint term. And you have some links here that you can copy and just paste in the browser for you to be able to easier access Allegro in that section where you have to arrive. Of course, that after you check these connection settings, you will have to authenticate with Allegro in easySales. We don't have an Allegro account valid, but these are the steps. So afterwards, after you will authenticate with Allegro in easySales, you will have some other boxes to check, like price addition. Again, if you will want to insert the price addition, you can do it when you connect a marketplace, meaning that you will put a price addition on all the offers that you are going to list. Or you can let us know what kind of rules or options you would like to have in mind. For example, if you want to put a certain price addition for certain categories, because let's say you will not put 30% for children toys if 30% will be used for electronics. But it depends on you, on your strategy. We can talk more about this one-to-one when we have our easySales meetings. Then in easySales as well, you can fill in the default shipping tax, the invoice series, and the default tax rate. So everything will be filled in right here in the right section. Again, I don't have an Allegro account, and that's why we don't see those boxes that I'm talking about, but they are here mentioned. So this is what you have to keep in mind. Great. After we have the Allegro marketplace connected in easySales, we need to switch to the online shop if it's connected in our platform, or to the virtual shop. As many as you have already used easySales, you know, if you have an online shop, you just connect it in easySales and you list the products from your website on a marketplace. Or if you don't have a website, that's not a problem. We have the option of the virtual shop, which is just a section in easySales which allows you to just have a catalog of products internally in our platform for you to be able to list everything you want on a marketplace. So the listing of offers in easySales is split in two steps: the mapping of categories and the listing of the offers. What you need to know is that the mapping of categories means that you need to choose what kind of categories should go where, more precisely in Allegro. Meaning if you sell children's toys, you will have to find the proper subcategory from Allegro, right? You will not list them on electronics, for example, unless you have, let's say, tablets. So the mapping of categories will be done from virtual shop categories in easySales. You will have here the categories from the website that you have connected in easySales. And of course, here you'll choose map categories with the marketplace that you have connected. After you will make that mapping of categories, you will go to products and you will select in mass 50 products per page or everything if you want to list all the products. Just keep in mind that usually we recommend you to not list more than, let's say, 1,000 offers in mass, because, of course, all the information has to be processed and it takes time. So for us, it's always better to list the offers based on categories. In this way, also, if you'll have certain, let's say, errors sent from the marketplace, like you don't have an, or you don't have the description, the images valid, meaning that you can better and easier correct them instead of having a lot of products and you don't know from where you can start the process of correcting them. So after you select the products in mass, you just add the offers on the marketplace that you have connected. And afterwards, all the offers will be processed from here in marketplaces, offers. In easySales, you'll be able here to see all the marketplace connected. So if you have more than one, of course, you'll have to click on the right marketplace just to be sure that you're not correcting offers for another marketplace if you don't want that. So here you'll have the offers, and on the right where it says errors, you will check what kind of problems you have, either with the marketplace, if you haven't connected it correctly because of the credentials that you have introduced, or because, let's say, you have not, again, maybe you don't have certain informations filled in. Again, as far as I know, Allegro asks for EANs, right? EAN for listing the offer. So it's mandatory for you to have those information. Those EANs have to be individually per each product in order for them to be listed. Okay. In easySales, of course, that you will be able to correct the errors based on what kind of errors you have, name, description, category, prices, etc. Individually or in mass. I won't dig deep in this subject right now because it's let's say it's a long discussion, but also it is based on your needs. Some sellers would like to put certain price additions or would like to put some more other characteristics or values to the offers. So we can talk more about this one-to-one when we have our meetings. So briefly, this is how you connect a marketplace in easySales, how you can list the offers based on the mapping of the categories and the listing of the products. And once you list an offer on a marketplace, you will have to handle the process of editing it from easySales, not from the marketplace, because we are sending daily automated updates to the marketplace. And that means that you will work in vain in the marketplace because we will come and we will update the information in real time. And once you have orders from Allegro, you will be able to see them here in easySales in orders. And of course, once you have a billing software and the couriers connected, you will be able to generate the invoices and the AVBs from our platform. And in this way, you will be able to have the stock synchronization made and the status of the orders synchronized. Okay, great. I will stop here because my time has finished. I hope that you got some insights. Again, even if some of you already know how to use easySales, but for the new ones who haven't tested yet our platform, I hope that it was at least a very good introduction. Great. So I'm going to stop the share screen just for a couple of moments. Now we can start the Q&A session if you want for almost 15 minutes or 20 if you have more questions. Let's see what you have written down in the chat section. Okay. So support is very difficult. They answer too late, Mr. Julian. I think that this is for Allegro mentioned, Julian.
Are you talking about the Allegro customer supports? I mean, in which case they they will reply according to their schedule. So, you send your normal query through the normal forms. So you fill out the form online, and then they will respond. They have to respond within a certain amount of time. So there are certain KPIs set here. So, there's nothing I can do in terms of controlling that, but yeah.
Okay, thank you, Shaq. Can we have a direct email for onboarding on Allegro?
There are no direct emails for onboarding. If you have any issues, you can always reach out to me if there's some problems. But overall, I think the main thing here is to make sure that you have all the right documents when you're onboarding, so that if there are any issues, then you can deal with it from that perspective.
Okay. Razvan, listing products through easySales is kind of difficult as all the product features, options, criteria, categories are all in Polish language. Well, yes, Razvan, for the moment, we are still working on this to improve it. It's ongoing. So I hope that as soon as possible, my colleagues from IT department will be able to give us a feedback about this. I know I talked about this with my colleagues today from the support department. Again, we apologize for this. We are working on this. So as soon as possible, you'll be able to list the products on Allegro, seeing in the same time the characteristics also in Romanian translated. Okay, Claudio, can we access the Czech and Slovak markets soon through the easySales application? Will we have separate integrations? Yes, first of all, you will be able to access the Czech and Slovak markets from our platform. I don't have right now a timeline to tell you when, but we are working on this. Again, it's on our developments, let's say, list. And yes, you will have separate integrations. I don't know if you're using a mug, it will be the same situation where you have the marketplace for Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria. It will be the same for those ones, Czech, Slovak, Poland, because you have different kind of connections. And of course, the listing will be done in each language. Okay, and now Razvan, I see that you addressed something to Shak. Shak mentioned something about being an advantage when listing to the products using Polish language via easySales. But as soon as Allegro platform realized that your product is listing using Polish language as origin, it's treating you as a Polish seller, and you have no chance of language switching to English in the Allegro product page. There is only the Polish version available in this case. Again, I'm talking about the product page via your assortment.
So in order to change the thing, you should actually change it. When you log into your Allegro account, you can change the language to Polish or English or Czech as well. So you should be able to do that. If not, this might be more to do with the fact that due to the integration as opposed to the Allegro backend, because once you upload, it should translate automatically.
Okay. And I think that Razvan can address to the account manager from Allegro the situation if it's still not working, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Leo, who has registered and asked ask at the section confirm your bank account. Your bank account. I'm just trying to translate it in my head first of all because it's in Romanian. So Leo, you are asking a question based on the fact that you couldn't you couldn't insert the information about your bank account when you were registering to Allegro. So Leo is asking if he needs to insert only the bank account or also the bank.
So usually what happens during the AML and when you're registering, it asks you to make a bank transfer. When you make the bank transfer, what you're also doing is you've already submitted documents which have your bank account details on them or your company details on them. And when you make the bank transfer, we check it against what you've submitted. Now, what happens here is that the bank details or the account details on the bank account that we see and what we get from you should match. So I'm not sure if that answers your question or not, but in general, the details that you're submitting versus the details that we see when we get the transfer through should be the same.
Okay, thank you, Shaq. Then Claudio is writing to us, to easySales, will we have Allegro Smart service for Romanian sellers? Of course, we are talking about a case where the sellers takes care of the delivery.
This
I
is more for Allegro, not easySales. So the reality here is that Allegro Smart currently is only available if you're shipping from certain countries. So as I mentioned earlier, France, Netherlands, Germany, Czechia, Poland. So if you have your stocks in any of those countries and you're using, for example, outside of Poland, if you're using DHL, DPD, and UPS to ship your goods, offering free delivery for your returns, then you could potentially have Smart. This is not something that you get automatically just because you're doing those things. You have to have a certain seller quality, and there are other criteria to meet. You can read more about this online on the Allegro platform as well in the help section. There are articles as well as tutorials to help you with this.
Thank you, Shaq, also for correcting me. Dan Petrescu, how much is the fee for handmade products, for example, scented candles?
That is a tough question to answer because, as you can imagine, we have thousands of categories and subcategories. On average, commission on Allegro is between 5 and 19%. There is, within the terms and conditions, there's appendix number 4. Appendix number 4 sets out all the different commission structures based off of the products, based off the pricing, and so on. So if you want more in-depth detail, you can look into that over there as well.
Okay, great. Leo came back with some other info. At registration, we are asked, confirm your bank account. I uploaded it 2 days ago and I still have no confirmation. Should I ask somewhere else or wait?
This is something that you probably need to wait for because we work with payment service providers, so they deal with it as well. So they're checking it, and it could take a few days.
Okay. Razvan, if you provide an EAN code GTIN that does not exist in the GSY database, you will not list or edit offers. What can we do in this case, taking into account that we are talking about still a valid EAN used throughout Europe for selling the same product?
So, number one, the question here is if you're talking about the GS1 database overall, or if you're talking about the Allegro database. Now, if we're talking about the Allegro database, the question here is whether or not from easySales, is there an option to create a new product? If you can do it through the integration and create a new product, then you shouldn't have any problem. But if you can't, then you'd have to submit to create a new product manually. Once that's done, then you can search and list via the EN code.
Okay. Mihail Nisolescu, please detail the orders payment TP the seller.
To the seller.
To seller.
I'm not sure what you mean here, but if you're talking about how you would get the money in terms of the sales from the goods, what ends up happening is the sales happen, the money is then put into a virtual wallet, which is created by the PSPs when you create your account, and then you can take that money out twice a month, so on the 1st of the month and the 14th of the month.
Okay, great. I don't know if anyone else would like to ask a question having the microphone turned on. Again, if you want this, just let us know in the chat. Mihail still is asking further, in what currency, based on what you said before?
So at the moment, this would be, so if you register with the Polish platform, it's still in PLN. So you get your payouts in Polish zloty.
In slots. Got it. Okay. And as far as I know, the slots are pretty close to Romanian level. Maybe it's a very small difference.
Yeah.
As far as I
So
can remember.
it's about 4.37 PLN to €1.
Yeah, so it's close to the Romanian level. Okay. Claudio, thanks for the reply, Shaq. I consulted all the conditions about Allegro Smart. I also understood the countries that you communicated to us in the presentation. I was wondering if the number of countries that have this service will increase. Thus, Allegro focus on the development of this aspect. I ask this aspect because without Allegro Smart, I don't think you can enjoy success in this market.
I mean, this is something that we're working on overall, right? As to when this will happen for other countries, I cannot give you an answer right now because this is an ongoing project, right? So, for example, we launched recently Smart from China, uh, and there are sellers from China who can have Smart, but they have to meet other conditions as well. So, this is an ongoing process. It's something that will happen in due time. As to the exact dates, I can't give you an answer on that.
Thank you, Shak. Again, from Mihail. So we should have a PLN account in our Romanian account, in our Romanian bank.
I mean, to avoid exchanges in currency, possibly, but this is something up to you, right? I mean, you don't have to. You can. It depends on how you operate overall.
Or a multi-currency account, as far as I can
Yeah.
see from Julian as well mentioned. Okay. Great. You were mentioning something, Shak, in the beginning about that. Let me just double check my notes from here in a moment. The welcome program. I think that you mentioned that it's only for the new sellers on Allegro, meaning they didn't have before an Allegro account. Doesn't matter if they had a trial account. I don't know if you offer a trial account in Allegro at
We
this
don't
time.
have trial accounts.
You don't
So
have.
if you create an account with your tax ID, that's already an existing account. But to be honest, it depends. If you haven't done it in the past, there might be a way that you could get the welcome program again if you never had sales or anything like that in the past. But this welcome program is actually for new sellers who are unique tax IDs to the platform.
Okay. Thank you. Got it. From Pavel, we have a message. During the registration in Allegro Marketplace, we were asked several documents regarding the company, and it's compulsory to be in English language. The question is, don't you accept in Romanian language? Because it's a barrier for us in the integration process.
So this is one of the things when it comes to the languages, the reason it's being asked for English is purely because the payment service providers are doing the AML KYC, so they need to be able to read it. Not all payment service providers provide services in multiple languages, so that's why English is a prerequisite.
Okay. We will still wait for other questions in the chat if you're still writing them, or if you have other more highlights to make. We will still have, like, let's say five more minutes of Q&A. So again, 5 more minutes of questions to Shak or to me if you have some questions related to easySales platform about listing on Allegro, just to highlight this. And after these 5 minutes, we can make some conclusions about this webinar, and we can wrap up. Mihail Nițulescu. So we should officially translate all documents for registration process.
Yes. I mean, if that's what is being asked of you, that they are in English, then yes, they need to be in English.
Okay. I don't know if you have some, let's say, okay, Irina, Andrea is writing something. How much time does it take to be validated as a seller by Allegro?
So this varies. Unfortunately, it depends on how complex of a company structure you have. If you have a large company that is owned by multiple companies and so on, they could ask for shareholder data and so on. So it really varies. Some companies can be up and running within a few days. Some can take months based off of how complex of a structure the company is and how. The other thing here is also about how quickly they can get the documents to Allegro, right? Just as an example, in Germany, if you need to get certain documents from let's say the government offices, it could take 3-6 weeks. if not longer. So that will delay the process, of course. So everything is dependent on the procedures in your own country about getting documents in time. And then the other one is about whether or not those documents are the right documents or not.
Thank you, Shak. How is a seller's brand protected from being tied to another seller's product SKU? Are there limitations to listing products, mandatory specifications?
So overall, the way to look at it is this. We run an offer-based system or platform, which means that even if the product is there, even if you're using the EN that already exists, you could potentially edit and change the description and so on to suit your offer. Now, what you also need to remember is that, again, because we are not a, let's say, traditional product-based system or platform, the consumer sees every single offer. So there's no, I mean, there is buy box as well, but they can go through every single seller, every single offer, every single listing to find the one that matches their needs the most. So this is one area where we differ from other platforms as well.
Okay.
In regards to the limitations, yes, there are, and this is something that would happen through the integration with easySales. So easySales would be updating the taxonomy. So there are certain mandatory, let's say, attributes or parameters that need to be met. And during the taxonomy update within easySales, when you're pushing the feed from easySales to Allegro, as Eugenia showed you, there could be errors, and those errors could be due to the fact that things are not mapped properly, you don't have the right parameters or attributes, and you need to update them.
Thank you, Shak. Sorry, Razvan, I didn't see your message before, so I'm going to read it now. What are the advices of Shak about being successful on Allegro as a new seller? What are the main things to focus on Allegro specifically besides the common sense ones?
So I think, overall for majority of international sellers, and we'll call everyone here an international seller. I think, if you want to be successful on any marketplace, whether Allegro or anything else, one is making sure that your products get to the consumers early, quickly. And, this is something that you can achieve through using either Allegro One fulfillment, or you could use a third-party fulfillment service as well in country. So you're selling to Polish customers, they want their products, today, tomorrow, at the latest in 2 days. You need to have your products in country so that that can happen. Now, this can also be with Allegro fulfillment. So as I said, we offer same day delivery. We also offer next day delivery for Poland for the most part. If it's the Czech Republic or Czechia, it's 2 to 3 business days, whereas normally, if you're using any other couriers or so on, it takes up to 5 days, 7 days sometimes. So these are things that are hugely important in terms of that. So delivery time, as I mentioned, smart. So again, this goes back to where you're shipping your goods from, where you're storing your goods. That is hugely important. I'm not the only one who pointed that out. Obviously, those of you who know Allegro know why it's important. So that's another thing. Other than that, of course, taking part in the sales campaigns, promoting your products, making sure that they're visible. These are all things that seem obvious, but they also require you to invest into this. This is why within the welcome program, we've given you some of these things for free, so you can test it out. You can see how it works, what works best for you, and then adjust accordingly, right? But ultimately, like any marketplace, anywhere, or if you're selling online on your own website, knowing your consumer, this is always going to be the key thing. Know what they need, know what they want, and provide the right information.
Thank you, Shak. Now, Romina is asking us a question. Each country has a different market. So what are the main categories that sell very well on Allegro? If you can re-highlight them.
So, I mean, overall, I showed you earlier what our main categories are in terms of GMV. So obviously, consumer electronics in terms of GMV, home and garden in terms of GMV in the top 5. There's also automotive, there's fashion, there's sports and leisure, right? In terms of number of products sold, very similar again. So, we have 14 major categories or verticals, if you want to call them that. And then even within that, there are thousands upon thousands of subcategories. But, like any vertical based marketplace, consumer electronics, always good. Home and garden, always good. Sports and leisure, maybe seasonal, but again, a good one. Supermarket, health and beauty are categories that are actually doing very well and growing much faster than other categories as well. So this is something that you can see overall as, trends change, people are changing their shopping habits. So, once upon a time, people would only go to the store to buy their beauty products. Now they know what products they want. They're searching online because they know the brand, they know what they're looking for, and now they're looking for the best deal on that brand, right? So you understanding the consumer trends and consumer behaviors is what will get you to be ahead of the game in any market.
You're right, Shak. Razvan is just making a highlight. He's saying that the feedback from the Allegro team is taking several days, very often more than 1 week in answering to a ticket. Anyways, he's thanking you for the entire feedback. It's very useful what you've said to them. Of course, that I suppose that being such a big marketplace, of course, that sometimes the situations might not be solved in the current day, which is happening. Sometimes you might have some, let's say, technical issues that you have to work on in that time, or you might have just a wave of sellers that you have to handle, and maybe the team is not fully prepared in that moment. So there might be different kind of, let's say, KPIs that we have to take into considerations. And I think that in the end, each marketplace wants to have more sellers, right, to compete even better and to have a better position in that country, in that marketplace area. So I think that Allegro will also have this in mind, as we also take this into consideration when we receive a feedback. Will the video materials from Claudio from Allegro Academy will be available in English? And this will be the last question as well.
The videos, so there is Allegro Academy in English, and there are videos in English. There are tutorials in English. Everything there is available in English. Of course, some of them might have subtitles, but still. The other thing that I would say here, in terms of what Razvan was pointing out in terms of the response time, if you're not getting a response, keep writing to them, keep pushing them, keep sending those messages, because ultimately they will have to respond at some point, right?
Yeah, truly. And since we are almost at the end of our webinar, let's take just the last 2 minutes for answering the last question that Irina Andrea Dira has raised. Does Allegro offer an account manager, success manager?
So there are those options available. There are certain criteria to meet. So you need to be generating a certain amount of GMV on the platform, be involved in certain programs as well. So, having smart, for example, if you're using fulfillment as well, that's an advantage. If you are promoting, if you're a brand and you take and become a brand partner. So there are a lot of different factors here, but there is account manager or success manager options available. It's just a question of what you as a seller want to achieve and how much you're willing to invest into the platform in terms of your shop on the platform.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chuck. You've been
Thank you.
a really good resource. Okay. Well, let me just wrap up now the webinar. Let's just highlight some conclusions based on what we had discussed here. First of all, don't forget about the welcome program, as Jacques mentioned it. If you have some more questions about this, please go on the Allegro page in order to find out more information about this, or raise a question to the Allegro team. Don't forget that fast delivery, as all we know, is very important to take into consideration, because we all want the products to be very fast delivered to us. Allegro Marketplace is a very good choice for you in terms of growing the visibility of your brand online, and of course in having more orders per month. Allegro is already integrated in easySales, so you can start making an Allegro account, and afterwards you can connect it in our platform. I mentioned already that you can smoothly integrate it in our platform. You can then list the offers and edit them, correct them from our platform. And of course, you know that we are here to help you with meetings, with discussions on chat, on email, on tickets. So you can reach us whenever you want. And further, if you have more questions about how Allegro works in easySales based on our integration, just raise the questions to us and we will kindly answer to you. Okay, so thank you again, Shaq. It was a pleasure
Thank you
hearing
so
your
much.
presentation. It was a pleasure. Thank you to all the participants that made an effort to join us and to stay with us till the end of this webinar. We are wrapping up this webinar. I hope that we will hear each other very soon. And I wish you a very good day. Very, let's say, sunny, not gray like in Bucharest.
It's gray over here too.
Oh, okay. Let's just wait for the sun then to come
So,
up.
have a great one, everybody. Thank you so much, and hope to see you on the platform soon.
Dziękuję, Ashak, as it's said in Polish. Thank you so again. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
All